The movie opens with Hannah, who's trying to figure out where her mom is, since it's already late at night. She's also troubled by a mysterious bite mark on her arm. Suddenly, she spots someone sprinting through her yard toward the front door. Thankfully, she manages to shut it just in time. Oddly, it had been left wide open. The woman outside starts freaking out and pounding on the door, but can't get in. She's clearly determined, though, because she rushes around to try the back. Just as Hannah's about to call the police, she remembers the back door is still open. She races over and shuts it just in time, but the intruder smashes the glass, sending shards flying into Hannah's face. The story then shifts to two guys, Zach and Randy, who are filming a video about their hometown, Moulton, Missouri. They're basically small-town YouTubers. While recording, Pastor Greg approaches and invites them to a teen church event, but the boys politely decline. Later, they bump into another local, Miss Bissett, who shows them a bunch of bugs crawling all over her apples. Their conversation is cut short when they see a kid across the street being strangely dragged by his mother. The kid is crying and says, "You're not my mom." The boys didn't pay much attention to it and continued filming their video. The scene then cuts to tiny microscopic organisms falling from the sky. We return to Zach and Randy, who are now filming Zach's crush, Kayla. Kayla notices their hidden cameras and questions what they're up to. They explain that they're just making videos about the town. Kayla then introduces them to her family: her dad Larry, her mom Beth, and her little brother Joey. That evening, the boys go to Zach's place for dinner. While Zach's mom is preparing the meal, Randy records her on camera. Meanwhile, we find out that Zach's father is a double amputee. After dinner, the boys go for a walk and suddenly hear a scream. They rush to Miss Bissett's house and find her hiding in a closet, clearly injured. She appears to have been bitten by something. Just then, a strange creature crashes through the wall and runs outside. The boys chase after it and spot a mysterious man calmly capturing the creature in a box before driving away. As he leaves, they get a clearer look and realize it's Pastor Greg from earlier. They return to check on Miss Bissett, but she seems extremely shaken, so they decide to leave. The next day, Zach and Randy then head to Deputy Sheriff Haywood, but he thinks they're just messing around and brushes off their video. He says it can't be serious since Miss Bissett never filed a report. The boys head to the church to confront Pastor Greg about what they saw the night before. The main hall is empty, so they make their way down to the basement, where Greg greets them, but he's definitely acting suspicious. They notice he's in the middle of a meeting with a random group of townspeople. When the boys show him the video, Greg denies everything, using the classic excuse that the man in the footage isn't him. Then, things take a strange turn. He starts insulting their families and even brings up the private confessions their parents have made to him. The head sheriff tells the boys to leave, so they do. Next, they return to Miss Bissett's house, but she's acting off too. She denies ever being bitten and insists the boys must be confused. Then, oddly, she invites them into her bedroom. But before they can react, they hear a noise coming from that room. The boys run out and sneak around back to peek through the window. Inside, they see someone tied to her bed. Miss Bissett walks over and stares at the person, when suddenly another man jumps in front of the window, scaring the boys off. Zach and Randy show the video to their parents, but they're told to stay out of their neighbor's business. The boys recognize the person in Miss Bissett's house as Dylan, the football team captain. But here's the weird part. The guy who jump-scared them earlier was also Dylan. Just then, someone knocks at the door. It's Kayla, Zach's crush. She tells the boys her dad has been acting strange and scaring her. The boys share the strange things they've witnessed around town, and Kayla asks if they can help her get her mom and little brother away from her not-quite-right father. They agree. On their way to Kayla's house, they notice even more people behaving suspiciously. Once they arrive, they find Kayla's dad acting super off. Kayla and Randy distract him while Zach sneaks off to find her mom and brother. He follows a trail of dirt up to the attic and finds a large pod. And nearby, Joey, Kayla's little brother, is hiding. Zach tells Joey to hide in his room while he looks for their mom. As Kayla's dad starts searching for Zach, who's been gone too long, Zach hides in the bathroom, washes his hands, and then finds Kayla's mom hidden there. He exits and leaves the house with the others. Outside, he shows Kayla a video of her mom. She wants to go back and rescue her brother, but the boys suggest going to the deputy instead. They show the video to the deputy, and everyone heads back to Kayla's house, only to find her mom seemingly fine. Pastor Greg is also there, holding Joey. Realizing they're outmatched, the teens decide to leave and try to get help from outside town, but discover their phone signals are being jammed. Back at Zach's house, they hear something in the barn. Zach and Randy go to check it out while Kayla looks for Zach's mom in the main house. In the barn, they find Zach's dad acting strangely, and, shockingly, he stands up and walks, revealing that he's no longer disabled. As he walks off, Pastor Greg appears with some goons. The boys are locked inside the barn with two creatures. One of the creatures bites Randy. Then they see a pod beginning to move. From it, something that looks like Zach's mom emerges and starts searching the barn. The doppelganger eventually finds and attacks Zach's real mom, who's tied up nearby. Zach tries to save her, but it's too late. His mother is drained and dies. The creature then claims to be Zach's real mother. Zach doesn't buy it and stabs the creature with a shovel. Just then, Kayla opens the back of the barn, giving them a chance to escape before Pastor Greg and his goons catch on. The three hide while Zach struggles to fight back tears, still overwhelmed with emotion over his parents being killed by the creatures. Afterward, they head to Deputy Haywood's trailer deep in the woods. The trio is hesitant. What if Deputy Haywood has already been killed and replaced by a clone? Still, they cautiously approach the house. Watching him closely, they try to determine if he's still human. To their relief, Deputy Haywood speaks first with a joke and they realize he hasn't been replaced. They step inside and explain everything that's happened in town, including the death of Zach's parents. Deputy Haywood finally believes them and apologizes for not trusting them earlier. He shows them the body of someone he had to kill in self-defense during an attack. They all exchange information and piece together a theory. The creatures use human DNA to transform into perfect human copies, then kill the original person. During their conversation, Deputy Haywood notices something moving outside. As he peers through the window, a man suddenly appears and sprints across the roof of his trailer. Deputy Haywood quickly fires at the intruder, but misses. Moments later, they realize it's a clone of Randy, trying to kill the real Randy. And he didn't come alone. A whole group of clones begins to emerge from the woods. Deputy Haywood fires at them, but there are too many. The clones rush the trailer, eventually flipping it over as the group braces for impact. Deputy Haywood is grabbed by the clones outside, and Randy bravely volunteers to go out and distract them. His plan works. The clones chase after him, giving Zach and Kayla a chance to escape. Zach and Kayla move stiffly, mimicking the clones to avoid suspicion as they head toward Kayla's mother's store to get a van. Along the way, they see the clones burning all the corpses around town. While Zach retrieves the van keys, Kayla spots her younger brother and other children being taken into a fire station. She follows them inside and is horrified to see kids being bitten by creatures. One of Kayla's classmates notices her presence and begins watching her closely. When Kayla sees her brother crying, she can't hold back a tear. The classmate snaps, screaming in panic and alerting the others. The townspeople quickly seize Kayla. Before being taken, she tells her brother Joey to run to their family's cabin in the woods and wait for her there. Just as the clones are about to let a creature attack Kayla, Zach bursts in and saves her. The two escape in a van, and Zach tries to comfort Kayla until he notices she's been bitten. Zach shares his plan. He wants to upload their footage to a cable news network and broadcast the truth to the world. But as he's explaining, a swarm of small creatures sneaks into the van and merges into a larger one. It suddenly bites Zach and then disappears before they can stop it. They chase after the creature, but it vanishes. Just then, they spot the sheriff's car arriving and decide to make their way to the broadcast station on foot. On the way, Zach encounters a clone of Randy. The clone tries to convince Zach he's the real Randy, but it's clear he lacks genuine human emotion. Kayla sneaks up behind him and strikes the clone with a rock. The two try to drown it to stop it from alerting the others, but before they can finish, the clone manages to send a signal anyway. The pair finally reach the broadcast station and manage to get inside, but they're suddenly ambushed by Zach's clone. Just as the clone is about to overpower Zach, Kayla steps in and saves him at the last moment. But their relief is short-lived. Kayla's clone appears, and both doppelgangers begin chasing them. Zach and Kayla manage to reach the server room and lock the door just in time, as the clones begin slamming against it. Wasting no time, they upload the footage to their channel, and the broadcast is successful. Overwhelmed with relief, they celebrate by sharing a kiss. Meanwhile, the clones are still trying to break in when Zach spots a carbon dioxide fire suppression system in the room. An idea hits him. They play recorded footage of themselves to trick the clones into thinking they're still inside. As the clones barge in, Zach activates the extinguisher system and hides. Confused, the clones start interacting with the screen, attempting to absorb the duo's memories. But the plan works. The carbon dioxide overwhelms them, and they collapse, lifeless. Zach and Kayla, numb and expressionless again, quietly slip away into the woods. They make their way to Kayla's family cabin and reunite with Joey. Inside, they watched on the TV and are horrified to see that clones have already infiltrated cities across the globe. They've taken over the world. It dawns on them that their town wasn't the first to fall. It was the last. In the final moments, we see other survivors reacting to Zach and Kayla's uploaded video, commenting and trying to connect with one another. Hope flickers among the chaos. Thank you for watching until the end of this video. Subscribe for more videos like this.